Thousands of years ago, tales would tell, a legendary figure led the first men across the Arm of Dawn, before it was destroyed, leading his people to the prosperous of Westeros. This man was Garth Greenhand, or Garth Greenhair, or simply Garth the Green as some put it. He was the first High King of the First Men, settling down in the Reach, where his legend was born. Some stories claim that Garth preceded the arrival of the First Men by thousands of years, making him the only man in Westeros, trailing the continent amongst giants and the children of the forest, whilst others say he was a god. His appearance cannot be agreed upon in the legends. Some claim he had green skin and hair with antlers sprouting from his head, whilst most depict him dressed from head to toe in green, the much more likely option. Garth taught the first men how to farm and grow crops, before men were simply hunter-gatherers, nomadic and wandering for food. It is even said that Garth Greenhand brought the gift of fertility with him, for he could allegedly heal barren women with a touch, and mothers who were blessed by him brought forth twins or even triplets. Lords and common men offered their daughters to him to bear his children, which explains how he had countless children, which we'll get to soon. These stories are widely dismissed in Westeros by both the Maesters of the Citadel and the Septons, simply treating them as rumours that grew out of hand. This seems most likely as in a newly establishing civilization of the first men in Westeros, the logistics of accurately depicting their king would be difficult. There might be dozens of differing accounts about Garth Greenhand that throughout the millennia merged to make him appear to be this mighty fertility god. We can never be certain. What can't be understated or dismissed is that Garth Greenhand had many, many children. There are only a few noble houses in the Reach that can't claim ancestry from him. However, every man in Westeros likely has a small fraction of his bloods and DNA running through them. It's just how genetics works. The same way that anyone of European descent today in our world will have genetic ties to Charlemagne and every single European alive in the 9th century. This isn't a biology video, however, so today we'll be looking at the 15 noble houses of Westeros that claim direct descent from Garth Greenhand, the father of Westeros. The first of Garth's children was Garth the Gardener, the ancestor of House Gardener. It is said he made his home on the hill atop the Mander that in time became known as Highgarden. All of Garth Greenhand's other children swore fealty to Garth the Gardener, and he became the first king of the Reach, his descendants, House Gardener, following him, their sigil being a green hand on a field of white. They ruled as kings of the Reach until Aegon's conquest in the Field of Fire, where their entire lineage was wiped out, leaving the Reach to House Tyrell. John the Oak was the first knight who brought chivalry to Westeros, the traditions of knighthood being seen still in modern-day Westeros. His father was of course Garth Greenhand, whilst his mother was a giantess, leaving John the Oak to be a huge man, who is said to have been between 8 and 12 feet tall. His descendants became House Oakhart of Old Oak, their sigil being 3 green oak leaves on a field of gold. House Oakhart have many notable members throughout history, with 2 members of the Kingsguard. Oliver Oakhart, called Green Oak, a Kingsguard to Daeron the First Targaryen, and of course Aris Oakhart, who was made a Kingsguard during Robert Baratheon's reign, and is killed by Areo Hotar in a feast for crows. Gilbert of the Vines taught the men of the Arbor to make wines from grapes that grew prosperously on the island. He is the founder of House Redwine of the Arbor. The Redwines control the Redwine fleet, one of the biggest in Westeros, the ships boasting the sigil of House Redwine, a cluster of red grapes on a field of blue. Foss the Archer is another famed son of Garth Greenhand, renowned for shooting apples off the head of any maid who took his fancy, and so taking for his sigil a red apple on a field of gold, founding House Fossaway of Cider Hall. House Fossaway of New Barrel similarly claimed descent from Foss the Archer, with their sigil of a green apple on a field of gold. The Fossaways of New Barrel split from their kin at Cider Hall at the tourney at Ashford Meadow, when Raymond Fossaway took a different side to his cousin Sir Stephen Fossaway, the heir to Cider Hall, in a trial of 7, Raymond opting to don a green apple instead of a red one. Brandon of the Bloody Blade, another son to Garth Greenhand, was said to have driven giants from the Reach and to have warred against the children of the forest, killing so many at Blue Lake it became known as Red Lake, the seat of House Crane. Legends claim that Brandon of the Bloody Blade is the father of Brandon the Builder, the esteemed founder of House Stark who built Winterfell and the Wall, with links to constructing the High Tower and Storm's End too. I talk more about them in my Bran Stark theory video, which I will leave linked in the description. House Stark's sigil of course being a running grey direwolf on a field of white. Speaking of Red Lake and House Crane, next up is one of Garth Greenhand's daughters, Rose of Red Lake, who according to legend was a skin changer who could transform into a crane at will, potentially accredited to the fact we know the children of the forest have ties there. Some say this ability still manifests in the women of House Crane from time to time. Rose of Red Lake is the ancestor of House Crane, with their sigil being a V of golden cranes on a field of pale blue. Next on the list of Garth's descendant houses is House Hightower. Maris the Maid is another one of Garth Greenhand's daughters, who is called the Most Fair. her beauty being so renowned that 50 lords competed for her hand in the first tourney of Westeros. The victor of this tourney was Argoth Stoneskin, called the Grey Giant, but Maris wed King Uther of the High Tower before she could be claimed. Argoth spent the rest of his days raging outside the walls of Old Town. Maris the Maid and King Uther of the High Tower are the ancestors of House Hightower, through their 2 sons, their sigil being a white tower topped with flames on a field of grey. Bors the Breaker was yet another of Garth Greenhand's sons, who was said to have gained the strength of 20 men by only drinking bull's blood, and so is the founder of House Bulwer of Black Crown, their sigil being a bull's skull on a field of blood red. There aren't many mentions of House Bulwer in A Song of Ice and Fire, with a few members of their house being knights appearing in tourneys and battles throughout the history of Westeros. Legends say that Ellyn the Ever-Sweet, Garth's daughter, loved honey so much that she sought out the king of bees in his vast mountain hive and made a pact with him to care for his children. She was the first beekeeper in Westeros and the mother of House Beesbury of Honeyholt, with their sigil of 3 yellow beehives on a field of black and yellow. We of course see Lyman Beesbury in Season 1 of House of the Dragon, where he is unjustly and brutally murdered by Sir Criston Cole. Rowan Gold-Tree was so distraught when her lover left her for a richer rival that she wrapped an apple in her golden hair and planted it upon a hill. From the apple grew a tree whose bark, leaves and fruit were yellow gold. Rowan Gold-Tree's daughters founded House Rowan of Golden Grove, with their sigil of a golden tree on silver, paying homage to the tree that grew from their mother's hair. Florys the Fox was the cleverest of Garth Greenhand's children, so clever that she wed 3 husbands and managed to keep each of them a secret to the other 2. From the sons of each of her husbands began 3 noble houses in the Reach. House Florent of Brightwater Keep, with their sigil of a red fox and a circle of blue flowers on a field of white, the fox relating to Florys' nickname. House Ball was created from another of her sons with their sigil of 3 white plates upon a V of red on a white field, and the final house descended from Florys the Fox is House Peak, in my opinion the worst house in Westeros, with their sigil of 3 black castles on a field of orange. Now the next house that claims descent from Garth Greenhand is in contention, because it isn't known how exactly they claim descent. Lann the Clever is speculated to be the son of either Rowan Gold-Tree, potentially through her first lover, or the son of Florys the Fox, which could be through a 4th husband she could have had. Either way, he descends from Garth Greenhand. It is said that Lann the Clever stripped naked and coated himself in butter to squeeze through a secret cleft in the stone of Casterly Rock. Once inside, he confused the sleeping House Casterly by whispering threats, howling and moving treasures about the rock, setting the Casterlys against each other and driving them from their seat, to which Lann claimed and founded House Lannister, legendary kings of the rock, their sigil being a roaring lion on a field of crimson. This story is one of many, however, and so can't be confirmed, much like Lann's relation to Garth Greenhand. Harlon the Hunter and Herndon of the Horn were twin sons to Garth Greenhand, who built their castle atop Horn Hill, and both took to wife the beautiful woods witch who dwelled there. It is said they ruled as lords for 100 years, for they did not age so long as they embraced the woods witch whenever there was a full moon. The ancestors of the twin brothers and their beloved woods witch founded House Tarly, with their sigil of a red huntsman on a field of green, the huntsman honouring Harlon the Hunter, and the name of their castle Horn Hill honouring Herndon of the Horn. So there we have it, all 15 houses descended from Garth Greenhand. Let me know what you think and any questions you might have in the comments. This is my first animated video, so I want to know your thoughts. Don't forget to like and subscribe, and I'll see you all soon. Cheers.